My name is Victoria Harris, and my learning theory is cooperative learning. In this learning theory, the book explains it as a way for students to be motivated to learn through cooperative group work if rewards are made available to the group as a whole and to the individual members of the group. Group sizes should be between 4 to 6 students. In these groups, students work together on learning activities. The assignments provided by the teacher require that the students help one another while working on a group project. In competitive arrangements, groups may compete against one another. Each student will contribute to the group goals according to their talents, interests, and abilities. The reason cooperative learning enhances student learning in the classroom is it gives the students a break from boring lectures. This theory is centered on student learning. Any job that the students will obtain in the future will require them to communicate with others. This method sets the students up for success. An advocate for cooperative learning is Judy Willis, who is a MD and a MED. She shows how there are psychological benefits to cooperative learning. Students who grow up using this method are more comfortable and enthusiastic in social environments. They will be more likely to participate when teachers ask a question or for student involvement. Erikson theorized that the developmental crises of adolescence are turning points during periods of increased vulnerability, and these turning points present opportunities for the development of psychosocial strength. Having increased group work gives the students a sense of belonging and value. They also demonstrate greater flexibility, self-reflection, and ability to conceptualize abstractly when solving problems. Studies of brain neurochemistry also support the benefit associating rewarding positive social experiences with the learning process. This has been called dopamine-based reward-stimulated learning by Dickinson and Schultz. Cooperative group activities, unlike whole class discussions or independent work, provide the most opportunities for students to express their ideas, questions, conclusions, and associations verbally. As Gibbs says in her book, Tribes reported that in traditionally structured classes, each student has about 5 to 10 minutes of individual time to engage in classroom academic discourse. In a classroom, there are multiple different ways to use cooperative learning. The first way is called Think, Pair, Share. In this activity, the teacher will give the students the same question and they are to write down the answers individually. The students will be paired up with another classmate where they will collaborate and come up with what they think the best answer is. Each pair will then come up to the front of the classroom and tell the class what their answer is. Thinking pair share is a great method to use in the classroom because it improves students' reading comprehension. It also gives the students time to think for themselves and use prior knowledge to come up with an answer. Then they get to enhance their oral communication skills by talking with another student and communicating their answer to the class. This is a great method to get students to actively learn and participate. A second method used for cooperative learning is the jigsaw learning model. In this model, the teacher will break up the classroom into groups of 5 or 6. Every member of the group will get a different question. They will then meet up with other students from the other groups who have the same questions as they do. In these new groups, they will research their questions using their knowledge, books, and internet resources. Once they have come up with an answer, they will go back to their original groups and they will discuss the answers they came up with. They will then, as a group, piece together what the topic at hand is. This method of teaching in a classroom is beneficial because the students are directly engaged with the material instead of being lectured at. Students gain the skill of self-teaching and as well as peer teaching, which requires them to understand the material on a deeper level. This method gives every single student an important role to contribute to their group and helps avoid one student doing all the work. The activity promotes discussion, problem solving, and learning. The students will also learn to value their classmates' contributions. The last method is project-based learning. This method is given over a long period of time. There can be projects that last a week or ones that last a full semester. The questions will be more complex. Students will work individually on the project. This method of teaching forces students to think critically and develop deep knowledge on their topic. They will be forced to solve real-world problems and questions. The students will get to use multiple learning techniques they have learned in the past. There are a few different ways uh, teachers can make cooperative learning a success in the classroom. When choosing group, teachers should know their students' academic abilities. Some of the ways they can choose groups is based on academic abilities and grade level. The teacher can do it homogeneously, where the teacher pairs up the students who have similar academic levels. The other is heterogeneous, where the teacher pairs up students with academics that are on different levels. Teachers can also use random selection to make groups by using popsicle sticks. In any of the methods the teacher chooses, it is important to keep order and make sure everyone in the group is participating. The goal of the teacher is to make the classroom a safe place and make sure every student is learning. In group work, there are dangers and cautions teachers need to be aware of. Talking is one of the biggest issues that can come out of group work. This can be avoided by teachers being vigilant and walking around keeping an eye on every student. Another solution is keeping group sizes small so one student does not end up doing all the work. Make sure that there is individual accountability for every student to help them participate in the group work. Teachers should require submission of student work. Every activity should have a learning goal that students are required to meet. Cooperative learning applies to my personal philosophy on education because I believe group work is essential for a student's success. The environment of the classroom is then more based off of the students. When students feel valued and special, they are more likely to want to go to class and participate. In cooperative learning, group work forces students to get their work done and want to participate so they do not let their classmates down. Forcing students to speak and explain how they got their answers helps the students learn the content in more depth. As a teacher, it is my goal that students learn methods that will help them in the future. Students will be able to use the communication skills they obtain in the classroom in whatever career they choose.